Hey guys, in this video we're going to go over the best way to record electric guitar in the home studio. The technique we'll go over will provide the most flexibility for editing the guitar performance as well as the actual tone of the guitar after we've recorded it. For this tutorial, we need a device to record the electric guitar and output back out to an amp after. The best system for this is a guitar interface like the Avid 11 rack that I'll be using in this video. I'll link to those in the video description so you can check them out. We'll also need software to record the guitar, so we'll use Reaper since it's commonly used for home recording. One of the big issues we have when recording electric guitar alone is it's difficult to play the guitar and tweak the sound out of the amp and microphone at the same time. Instead, we should use a technique called reamping, where we first record a direct signal and then send it back out to the amp from the audio interface and re-record with the amp sound. That way, we can make as many changes to the amp tone as we would like. If we just record the guitar amp to start with, there's no way to make any changes and we're stuck re-recording the performance if it doesn't fit well in the mix. The only thing we won't be able to change after are the pickup positions and the tone knob settings. Let's start with our Reaper project. For this project, I have an electronic drum recording and a bass track. This will replicate how you would be recording this, where you have these instruments in your project and you need to get the guitar to blend nice with them. First, we need to make sure our audio interface is set up properly. Go to the Options menu and select Preferences. Go to the Audio section and set the device to ASIO. The ASIO driver needs to be set to Avid 11 rack ASIO 64-bit. Then press OK at the bottom to save the settings. Now we can start configuring our tracks. Right-click on the blank track area and select Insert New Track. Set the input to Guitar In under the Mono section. This is the direct guitar signal from the 11 rack with it acting as a direct box. We can also set up a second track with our amp simulation from the 11 rack. Create a new track and set the input to stereo 11 rake input. Now we'll want to set the amp simulation preset and settings on the 11 rack. This doesn't need to be perfect. We'll use it to get an idea of what our final track will sound like and make sure our performance is good, but with this technique we'll still be able to make changes after. Press the red button on each track to arm them to record. Now just record a guitar track along with the other instruments we have. Once that's done, we'll have two guitar recordings. One is a stereo amp simulation and the other is our direct signal that we need if we want to reamp the signal after. With these recordings done, let's now go over how we can create our final guitar sound. We'll start with some signal routing for the direct guitar signal. You need to open the signal routing section, then add 3 reamp L as the hardware output. We have to use this specific output on the 11 rack. Guitar amps work best when the signal going into them is at an instrument level instead of a line level, and sending too loud of a signal through will create a lot more noise from the amp. Connect a 1/4 inch instrument cable to the reamp output on the front of the 11 rack. Then connect the other end of the input to your guitar amp or to the input on any of the pedals you'd like in the signal chain. Now Reaper is configured to send the signal to the 11 rack, but we need to configure the 11 rack to send the signal to the amp. First, we'll change the input on the 11 rack to reamp so it accepts the signal from Reaper. Otherwise, by default, it still wants to process and output the signal from the guitar input. Now disable all the amp, cabinet, and pedal simulations for the preset you're using. It doesn't matter what preset you're on. With all these disabled, the 11 rack will now output the direct signal through the output to amp jack on the front. Place a microphone near the speaker of the guitar amplifier. For this, I'm using a Shure SM57 since it's a pretty commonly used guitar amp microphone. Use an XLR cable to connect the microphone to the microphone input on the front of the 11 rack. Insert a new track in Reaper. Set the input to mic in under the mono section. Arm the track for recording and adjust the level using the gain knob for the preamp on the front of the 11 rack while the guitar is playing through the amp. Record a track in Reaper. Don't worry if it's not exactly how you like it to sound at first. You can go back and make as many adjustments to the microphone position and amp settings as you need until it sounds right. I recommend making changes in recording, then muting the guitar amp and playing it back, since it can be difficult to judge how the actual recording sounds with the guitar amp playing in the same room. Now you have an easy way to get the perfect guitar tone. We can even do things like record with different microphones, layer different amps, combine amps with the 11-rack simulation, and pan the tracks in stereo. Thanks for checking out this video on the best way to record guitar in the home studio. If this video helped you out, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon to get notifications whenever a new video is released. You can also check the video description for products featured in this video and social media links to stay up to date on all our new content.